Hello.
Hello.
Hello, teacher.
Hello, teacher. Hello.
Hello. Okay, so today we're looking at andragogy. So our objectives for today are that participants will be able to explain andragogy and evaluate it as a learning theory. Some community guidelines. We are happy you are here. If you are late or have technical issues, please join the conversation as you are able to. Mute yourself when you are not talking, but please remember to unmute yourself when you do want to talk. We want to be able to hear everyone. Please complete the pre-session self-paced interactive slides. They're not home for homework, but they're just for extra practice or pre-work. And the post-session feedback forms, please complete those. I do go through and read all of the feedback that is submitted. So just so you know, it's all read, even if I don't always reply to it. This will help us revise and develop course content. If you have questions or technical issues during the session, please send a message in the chat box indicating so or email us at info@hettgroup.com. Oh, I keep forgetting to change these ones today. So my name is Lisa Vance, and I will be leading the class today. So I am from Canada, and I've worked as an English teacher, environmental educator, and I've done teacher training. So my co-host is Kathleen. Kathleen designed all of the PowerPoint slides. Kathleen, can you introduce yourself?
Hello, my name is Kathleen Griley. Like Lisa said, I help design all of the slides for these sessions and I facilitate on Facebook.
Okay, so how well do you understand andragogy? So I'll stop sharing for a second. So not at all, a little bit, somewhat, quite well, extremely well, or you can put it in the chat box. So 1, 2, 3, how well do you understand andragogy? Okay, some people quite well, some people not so much. Okay, so let's look at it. Oops. So let's brainstorm a little bit. You can either tell me or type in the chat box. How is teaching adults different from teaching children? Can anyone share? How do you, yeah?
Yes, a lot of different. Yeah. For example, for children, they just only listen how the teacher teach, and there may be a little curious question. And for adult students, they can ask so many curious and missing questions about their learning.
Definitely, definitely. Yeah, so yeah, adults are able to ask more questions about their learning. They have more in-depth knowledge to ask questions from. How about anyone else? How is teaching adults different from teaching children? Oh, there's a message. Teaching adults focuses on the lesson, but teaching children make fun sometimes and repeat a lot. Yeah, that's true. Although I think, in my opinion, I think we should make teaching adults more fun, but maybe that's because I started off, I actually, well, I mean, I've taught both children and adults, and I think it's more interesting if you can make lessons fun for both children and adults. But yeah, I would say traditionally it's more serious, and adults maybe have more of an attention span than for children. Okay, anyone else? Any other differences between teaching adults and teaching children?
Sometimes adult has some they are sub-concept.
Sorry? Repeat.
Some of the adult students have own sub-concept.
Oh, they have their own self-concept.
And sometimes they didn't accept our explanation or our point of view, our perspective.
Yeah, they might be more likely to argue back, I guess.
Yeah, they argue a lot.
Okay. Yeah, it depends on background and knowledge. Teaching child needs guidance and teaching adults needs to provide ways how to study themselves. Yeah. So we're going to get into it. There's a lot of overlap between teaching adults and teaching children. So obviously these are just general ideas that we're going to look through, and there is criticisms of all of them. So there is a lot of overlap though between how to teach children and adults. Okay. So what is andragogy? How do you define andragogy? Does anyone know?
Yeah, adult learning.
Yeah, adult learning. It's pretty simple. Yeah. So it's a collection of theories and methods used to teach adult students. It's Knowles that is famous for coming up with most of the ideas around adult learning, although there's different kind of theories within adult learning, but Knowles is the main person who's kind of created this whole system around adult learning. So Andra means adult compared to peta for pedagogy, which means child, and gogy means leading. So that's the difference. This is andragogy is focused on adults and pedagogy is focused on children. Although we do use pedagogy a lot when we're just talking in general, but it's specific to adult education. What are the 5 main principles of andragogy? Does anyone know?
Sub-concept.
I'm just gonna mute, but you can unmute yourself because there's some background.
Adult learners are motivated.
Yeah, they're motivated. Yeah. Sorry, I'm just muting, but you can unmute yourself. I just so there's less. Adult learners are experienced. Yeah, they have experience. Yeah. So definitely, if you were
experience, yeah.
Yeah, so if you were in the class this morning, the Burmese one, obviously we already went over it. Yeah, problem-centered, so they have experience. So yeah, adult learners are more independent than children. Adult learners have more experience than children, and adult learners might be more ready to learn. Adult learners are problem-centered, and adult learners are motivated. So again, this is just a theory, and this is based off of Knowles. So I'll put it in the chat box actually. So it's his theory of andragogy, Knowles, and he kind of came up with it. Okay. So let's look at this one here. Adults have lived for longer than children. They have learned many real life experiences. They have more prior knowledge and their own way of doing things, which also means they're more opinionated. So which one of those 5 is this? Yeah, experience. So yeah, adult learners have experience. Now, this is not to say that children don't have experience. It's just that adults have more experience. So by the time you're an adult, you have more information to draw on, more experiences to draw on, more life experience to draw on than when you were a child. Because adults are contributing members of society, they can immediately put what they learn into practice. They don't need to learn how to multiply so they can later learn algebra. They learn in order to solve a real life problem. So which one of the 5 is this? Yes. Learners are problem-centered. Now, this doesn't mean this is always the case. It's just more likely to be. When you're a child and you sit in school, you're sitting in school just to learn. You know, you're just learning basic information while in school. But when you start to attend university, you know, maybe you're learning because you want to learn about your future job. So maybe it's not as theoretical, and it's getting more into the practical. Starting at about, I mean, maybe younger, but definitely in university, the reason that you're learning is so that you can get a job. And then you're wanting those skills so you can apply those skills to your job. Or to your world, or how you interact. And once you finish university, a lot of times when you want to learn so you can apply those skills. An example being, maybe you're attending this class because you want to be a better teacher. So if you want to you want to learn more about education so that you yourself can be a better teacher. So a lot of times, learning as an adult has a purpose. What are you going to do with the learning? Compared to a child who is just learning to learn. There's no reason or purpose behind it, or not as much of one. Okay, this principle says that adults learn because they choose to learn. Children are required to go to school. Because their learning is forced, they respond to extrinsic motivators. Adult learners, on the other hand, are intrinsically motivated to learn. Which one is this?
Motivated.
Yes. Yeah, motivated. Adult learners are motivated. Doesn't mean all adult learners are motivated, but maybe they have more. Again, it's just a theory, but they might have more of their own motivations to attend. Like this training here, you're not being forced to attend unless your rector has decided to or something. You're attending this training because you want to learn. You're interested in learning. So a lot of adult learning is because the person is interested in learning. Even in university, usually you attend a degree that you are interested in. Not always. Maybe it's because your family wanted you to take it, or the government wanted you to do that degree, or that's what you got into. But it's more likely that you are interested or studying that degree because you want to. While you're a child, everyone has to go to school. When you're an adult, you don't have to go to school, so you can make different choices. Okay. Adults understand that they have to learn new things if they want to get a new career or get a promotion. They see the real life applications of what they learn. This is different than children who don't understand why they need to learn new things. So which one is this?
Ready to learn.
Yeah.
Ready to learn.
Yeah, ready to learn.
Ready
so
to
again,
learn.
Yeah, this relates to also learning being more practical, more problem focused as well in a way. So when you're a child, you just go to school because you're supposed to go to school. You don't really think about why you go to school, because your parents force you to, because all your friends go, especially when you're like very young, like 5, 6, 7, you don't think about why. But as an adult, you are thinking about why are you learning? Why are you taking this class? Why are you taking this training? Why are you attending university? So you're thinking more about the why behind the learning. And so then you're maybe more ready to learn, because it's, again, it also relates to it being your choice and your, so if it's your choice to learn, you're more ready to learn. Sometimes people are forced by their job or by their parents, but it's just more common in adults. Okay, this principle means that adult learners are self-directed. They do not need a teacher to tell them what to do. They can learn on their own. Which one is this? Yeah.
Independent.
Directed.
Yeah.
Independent learning.
Yeah, self-directed or independent.
Independent.
Yes. So children, you want to get them to be able to learn independently, but a lot of them still need a lot of support. So they might need, like, the teacher always, you can't leave a child by itself. They need a supervisor. So a teacher is teaching them, but also supervising them. Well, an adult doesn't really need that. They need a teacher who's more a facilitator to support them in their learning. So an adult is more capable of learning on their own, of doing homework on their own, of coming up with projects on their own than a young child is. And obviously this depends on the age of the person. So as they become a teenager, they should be able to work more independently. And then as they become an adult, in university a bit more independently, and then an adult outside of university even more independently. Okay, so individually, you will think about your experience with learning and teaching adults. Oh, sorry, I think I changed the wording around of that. Okay, so I have some questions for you to answer individually first. So I'll go through and show you the questions and you can answer individually. Use Pear Deck to record your answers. Afterwards, I'll put you in small groups to discuss. And then after that, we can discuss as a whole class. Okay, let's see if I can get the Pear Deck. My computer is being a bit slow. Here we go. Yeah. At least we have lots of time. Okay, so I'll share the link in the chat box, but we'll quickly go through it first. Okay. So these are the arrows at the bottom. When was a time you were independent, self-directed in your learning? Have you ever applied your real life experiences to learning in the classroom? So have you ever, your real life experiences, have you ever then brought them into your classroom, either as a student or as a teacher? Do you value learning more as an adult than you did as a child? Why or why not? So you don't have to agree with the theory, that's okay. Do you prefer theoretical learning or learning with a practical application? Again, just your opinion. What motivates you to continue to learn as an adult? And what do you think? Do you agree with the theory of andragogy? Why or why not? So I'll give you 10 minutes individually to work on that, and then 10 minutes in a group, and then we will share. So here is the link, and it is now 9 o'clock. Well, 8:57. So you have until 9:07 to work on it. See if you can answer the questions. And if you have any questions, just ask in the chat. Okay, Kathleen, do you want to turn music on? Okay, I'm gonna put you in groups now. So I'll just do 4 groups. So just discuss with your group some of your answers. So you'll just have 10 minutes. Okay.
Finished typing yet?
You're not finished typing yet? Well, we can just discuss.
Yes. I will directly to the slide.
So, yeah, if you haven't finished, that's okay. We'll just discuss it. You don't have to share your screen. You can just tell me.
Typing, no typing yet. So I want to discuss. I'm from Group 4. I want to discuss directly to the.
Okay, so I'll just go through per question. If anyone wants to share, they can share. So when was a time you were independent, self-directed in your learning? Does anyone want to?
When I was master's student, I studied the self-directed learning in my life.
That makes sense. Yeah, master's degrees involve a lot of self-study and self-learning and being independent. Yeah. How about anyone else? Does anyone else have any examples?
I'm doing research and some project paper. So I did self-directed learning in master student's life.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, reading research papers is self-directed learning. Yeah, most of doing a master's degree is very self-directed. Okay, anyone else? Anyone else have different examples from their life? Yeah.
Yes, just now I'm still self-directed learning.
Yeah.
Just now still self-directed.
Yeah, this would probably be quite independent learning, like this training or this class, because you're choosing to attend it. And diploma, yeah, so maybe when you did a diploma, it might have been self-directed. So there's lots of examples of self-directed or independent learning. Let's get a reply. Next one. Have you applied your real life experiences to learning in the classroom, and how, if you have?
Yeah. When I was taking the diploma of postmaster diploma of HETT, I teaching about the learning theory, and self-directed learning is more effective in teaching. So I apply my experience in my teaching career.
Okay, cool. Makes sense. Okay, good. Yeah, that's a
for
good
me.
example. Yeah.
For me, I'm a chemistry teacher. I'm a chemistry specialized teacher, and then when we coach salty fish, we coach at the time how we remove the salt. Yeah. This is one of my sub experience, and just firstly, I prepare dilute a little salt in a water, just only, and saturate the solution. After that, I wash the salty fish in this and diluted solution. The solution dissolved a lot of salt from the salty fish. Yeah. At the time. This is one of my experience in my cooking, and then I apply this to my students. This is how to apply the theory and my experience.
That's cool. Very cool. Good example. Yeah. Anyone else?
Today's lecture is very important in my career life. This experience is also in applying my teaching life.
Makes sense. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Do you value learning more as an adult than you did as a child, or not? Why or why not?
Adult learning is very valuable, I think like that. But childhood knowledge is very important for adult learning. But childhood teaching is not compatible for adult learner. I think like that. Some of the childhood teaching maybe direct teaching or one-way teaching. Adult learner is not compatible for childhood, one-way teaching or direct teaching style.
Yeah, so maybe like, yeah.
It's more valuable, but childhood knowledge is very important for adult learners.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. Yeah, I would say like adults maybe being more of a facilitator, even more so than with children. And also, but yeah, I think with this like valuing learning, like maybe like as a, like personally, do you think learning is more important? Like, did you view learning as more important when you were a child or now? So, I mean, for me, I actually really liked learning as a child. So I mean, it's kind of the same. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. I want to share my opinion.
Yeah.
I want to share my opinion. Both are very valuable, both, because both resources, child and adult, are there. Very valuable human resource of our country. So I think both are important.
Of course, yeah, but knowledge of adults is mature than a child, because knowledge of adult becomes improvement than a child.
Yeah, yeah, it's being built on, and there's more, they do have more knowledge. Okay, do you prefer theoretical learning or learning with practical applications, and maybe why?
I prefer both, because theoretical learning is basic and we must memorize the theoretical knowledge and use practical skill in real life. So theory and practical is important for both learning.
Yeah. I also recommend this idea, because theoretical is also important for the basic background of knowledge, and then for the science subject is that we prefer the practical application, for doing that practically. Yeah.
We can call that the background knowledge or theoretical learning, and we can doing the practically by practical learning.
Yes, I prefer both practical learning, because that motivates the students to be a higher order thinking skill and to create new things and learn more a lot.
Yeah, I would say, yeah, oh, sorry.
I want to add one thing. Theoretical knowledge and practical knowledge combined in real application, real life, and we must have critical thinking or reflective thinking about theory and practical. This is more.
Yeah, I would say, yeah.
I agree it.
Yeah, I would say I agree with that. Like right now, we're looking at learning theories, which is more, I guess, theoretical, but then we're also looking at like, how can you apply them, or how do they relate to your own teaching? So then it's like taking the theory and then also applying it, or using it in a, how can you use it in a practical sense? So I personally agree that it's it's good to have both together. And practical is a good way to learn. Like it is good for critical thinking skills, but yeah, having that theoretical base to build the practical skills from. Okay, what motivates you to continue to learn as an adult?
My career, life, my teaching career is motivating my learning. I think teacher must be lifelong learner.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, obviously there's lots of different things that can motivate people. Some people, might be their career. It might just be because you like to learn. It might be, I don't know, like maybe you're just interested in a subject.
Passionate to the subject.
Yeah, makes sense. Okay, cool. Last question. What do you think? Do you agree with the theory of andragogy? Why or why not?
Totally agree.
Yes, agree. My students are adults now. They are university students.
Anyone else? You can also type it in the chat box. Yeah. I mean, I think a lot of it, to me, a lot of it makes sense, but maybe not only for adults or for all adults in all situations. But I think they're all important points to consider for adults. But that's just my opinion. I know. Okay. So how well do you understand Andragogy? Not at all, a little bit, somewhat, quite well, or extremely well. Count of 3, or you can put it in the chat box. 1, 2, 3.
Quite well.
Quite well? Okay, good. Excellent. Okay, some 3s. Yeah. I mean, there's more to it. It does get quite a bit more complex if you research about it, but we kind of went through the basics about Andragogy. Okay. So just so everyone knows, the next 2 weeks, there are not going to be any classes. So because of the holidays, it ends up being on my Christmas and my my New Year's Eve, because it's Friday night for me, for the Burmese classes. So no classes for the next 2 weeks, and happy holidays to everyone. I think you guys still have, it's not as big there, but you guys still have like a national holiday. So happy holidays. Have a Merry Christmas if you celebrate it or just because. And a Happy New Year. And then we'll meet after that and we'll have class again after that. And next class, we're gonna be looking at transformative learning. And trying to think of what else. Yeah, so I'll email out the course feedback and the invitation to join Google Classroom, and I'll put all of the information on the Google Classroom. And I'll just link the feedback. 2 minutes. Okay, where's the chat? Okay. There is the link for the feedback form, and my email is info@hettgroup.com. Oh, just 1 second. That didn't send. There is a feedback form. Okay. Does anyone have any questions or anything?
No question, Lisa.
Questions? Okay. So then thank you very much and have a good holidays and bye-bye. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you, Lisa. Thank you, Catherine. And all Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Bye-bye.
Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.